Hello, everyone, and welcome today, Saturday, to the Season 3 finale of Mini RPG of the Week. It's the finale of Season 3. We have had 25 normal weeks of Mini RPG of the Week, and now we are here on our kind of special finale weekend. We're going to be streaming for a couple of hours today, and then we're going to be streaming tomorrow as well to find out who is the best at racing on some of the top maps that we have played over the course of Season 3. My name is 16th Tower, aka Dylan, and I am joined today by the wonderful Boney, who I've had the pleasure to cast with before. Would you like to introduce yourself, Boney?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's been a while as well. So yeah, hi everybody. My name is Boney C. Maybe you've seen me around doing, finished Trackmania League or recently XP Evo. Very, very good time for anybody who was there. Surely would agree with me. But yeah, now back in my own room, making sure we get to figure out who is the champion of Season 3 of the Mini RPG of the Week. I myself haven't been too involved with this season myself, but I have been watching from the sidelines, seeing some of the games, and interesting the 5 most picked maps of the season to be played on.
We've got some interesting ones
for this weekend.
Definitely I like that it kind of covers the whole season as well. I think there's always a worry with something like this where we open it up to the public. Oh, what maps do you want to vote on? That maybe there'll be like some recency bias or something like that. We do have that a little bit. One of the 5 maps picked is the map that we played last week. But we've also got maps from kind of way close to the very start of the season earlier this year and from all over as well. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how the players get on tonight. It's a bit of a change. Normally on Mini RPG of the Week, we start kind of, we have maybe like 60, 70, 80. We've even had 100 a couple of times at the end of the season. We've only got 32 players tonight. We've picked maybe the cream of the crop of Mini RPG of the Week to see how they can get on. And the way it works with that kind of lower amount of players, it means we're just going to be doing more rounds. So we're going to be doing 5 different Cup of the Day eliminations on each map. So it's going to be 5 by 5. There's going to be 25 different Cups of the Day altogether. And each of them will take some amount of rounds that, I probably could have thought about before the stream, and I could probably work it out now if I keep stalling, but that won't make for interesting viewing, so...
it's part of the job.
Yeah.
It's going to be rounds. There's going to be plenty of rounds, plenty of points to be gained along the way. I mean, for these players as well, right, the 32 players, we didn't just, pick them out willy-nilly, hope, we get the right ones by throwing darts at a board full of names. It's been a week for these players to get into the... campaign, play the 5 maps, try to set their best times on there, and up 32 rolled out of that. There were a few players who were unable to join in, so because of that, numbers 34 and 35, I believe, are in to replace those 2 players. So, it's going to give us a good mix, and I think as well with today starting off in the traditional cup, not cup mode, track of the day type format, right, which we have been doing throughout the entire season. Will give us a good view of how consistent these players will be feeling on the maps.
Definitely, yeah. It's something I'm kind of looking forward to seeing today as well, because something that I always sort of say on Mini RPG of the Week is that a lot of what you're seeing is also based on this is the player's first ever exposure to these maps. They're having to sort of get to grips with the map as they're sort of learning how to run it well. That's completely out the window today. The players are familiar with these maps, whether they've played them in the season gone by, or as they definitely have, they've been practicing them over the last week. So we're going to see hopefully some really exciting plays from these players who are familiar with the maps they're actually on.
Yeah, it's very much a difference, as you say. The type of player that does well with discovering fast and quick, right? Those will be the players you'll see do well in your track of the days and your Mini RPGs of the week or whatnot. But as you say, right, we have seen the maps. We know about the maps. The maps have been out for a while. And it's only been a week ago that we know exactly which maps. But even then, the knowledge is out there, the lines are out there. Even then, you're just getting some time to really get the feel for it and maybe even tackle a map in a different way than the mapper had in mind, even in small ways. I know Estel's Castle is a very good example of that, where you would initially open up with a bug slide, and I have been seeing all the replays and players don't even do that, right? They just see no, you just drop down and keep driving. What are you talking about, bug slide? But those types of little things, little tweaks made along the way are things you're not able to really do during your first discovery runs. That is where the time comes in, and because of that, I think we're gonna see some great rounds, some great times from the players going into today.
Definitely.
I mean, do you have any player favorites for yourself so far, or are you?
We've had
just gonna...
We've got Scandir. Scandir's placed at seed number 1.
Easy.
I mean, you can't be surprised by that. I don't know, like, I know you haven't kind of been too involved with Mini RPG this season. Have you kind of seen what Scandir's been up to in Mini RPG of the week in the past couple of sessions?
Every time I've seen him, he did amazing. The one I very much remember, I believe, was on Stadium, which we are also playing on today, where he just... it was just best. Simple. I mean, there was no question about it. No competition. Every single time somebody made a tiny mistake, it's over. Scandir got it.
That's it, yeah. Scandir has a tendency to just kind of run away with things. We'll see how that goes. There's 2 reasons I think that Scandir might not be able to do that today, as well as he has on kind of previous mini RPGs of the weeks. One is kind of that practice element where maybe the players being more familiar with the maps will better be able to keep up with them. But also, Scandir has to contend with seed number 3, Yannick's. So I don't know if you watched Mini RPG of the Week last week. It was on a map that we're going to be racing on this week. And Scandir kind of ran away with it for the entire hour that we were streaming. And then the last 2 rounds, Yannick's just something clicked. Yannick's was neck and neck with Scandir. And they were like so tied. It was a photo finish on the final round. And Yannick's kind of just emerged as this competitor to Scandir. So I'm wondering how that's going to go today as well. And then, of course, this is also a thing. We've got a lot of players today. We've got 32 players. They're all really, really good players. Like, I'm looking at the list of competitors we've got. These are some of like the best we will see on our Mini RPG of the Week streams. When it's all of them, which, you know, it's not necessarily going to be week by week on a weekly stream, that's going to be a lot of pressure for Scandir as well. So I think Scandir might look like an obvious favorite, but I think there's going to be some kind of competition for him there too.
Definitely. I mean, that's one of those things. Just because there is a clear-cut favorite doesn't mean there aren't any dark horses looming in the waves, right? Just waiting for their chance to make their move and perhaps be the one to take away that victory. But I don't think today will be that day where Scandir will perhaps meet someone to really contest him. I think that'll be tomorrow. Today, the name of the game is make sure you stay in top 16. And I think like players like, definitely Scandir, but I know like Marius is also one of those examples of a very consistent player. Uso, who we're seeing right now on screen, another one of those players that can do very well, and I wouldn't be surprised if he be able to make it far into the tournament as well. We're just getting warmed up on the Castle of Hasto. Just making sure they got all the lines down, all the jumps up and down. There's these tiny little jumps along pretty much all of the turns as well, right? To make sure you can set up for a nice tight drift. And I think that is pretty much what really gives this map its identity. Besides the castle, it's just very, very obviously unique.
It's weird because like this is quite a unique style like castle map. This actually was not the only sort of like ocean castle map that we had in season 3 though. There was another one, I guess was less popular. I remember a lot of players were sort of getting tilted by certain aspects of it, so not surprising maybe to see that one, I can't remember the name, I think it was called Island Escape. Not surprising maybe that the players didn't pick that one for the finale, but we did get a bit of a representation of its aesthetic because it shares it with Castle of Histo like this. So I'm seeing now there's going to be 14 rounds per race, so someone did the math for me, so that makes it a lot easier to keep track of. And that is the end of our kind of practice round, and now we're going to be getting into the real competition. 4 players will be eliminated, so already we're going to go down from 32 to 28, and let's see how they get on. We're riding with Gonta right now. Gonta is kind of falling back there, so we'll jump to Yogg and see how Yogg is getting on. So already I feel like you can kind of see the players having that familiarity with the map that you just wouldn't expect to see on like the first or second round of a mini RPG of the week. I'm not sure exactly which of these players raced on the map when it was actually on during the weekly competition, but definitely they've all got a chance to sort of get to grips with it now. Look at these camera
I have to
angles.
look that up as well. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at them all going up the bridge. And I mean, the bridge right there is engine off as well, so you want to make sure you have the speed going into it. But because of the narrow pathways and the rubble inside of the castle, it is very, very easy to accidentally crash and therefore not be able to have enough speed to get up the bridge. I mean, I'm able to do it at like, I think the lowest I've been able to is 149. Overall, this map is a very good example of a slow map that is at the same time very technical, and because it is slow in terms of speed, right, acceleration, any slight little error pretty much snowballs into a deficit. So right now we are starting to get into the final players getting across the finish line. It does look like Dobry is going to be the one to close down the gates. The hatches have been shut. Ice, Deloitte, Ganta, and Demush will be having to settle for elimination for now, but I think one of the things that we've neglected to mention, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, we only take the 4 best results. Because while this is Cup of the Day, and we will be doing this on each and every one of the maps, we will take out the worst results. And because of that, you have a little bit of, second win, second life. Not quite, but it gives you some breathing room.
Exactly. I mean, this is kind of the key thing. I say it on every stream. Mini RPG of the week is about consistency. And so to let the competition kind of be more about that consistency and not let everything just hinge exactly on performance on, just one bad round. That's why we're kind of running it this way. So it's not just kind of what's your best round. It's what are your best 4 rounds out of the 5 that are being done. So it lets players show off not just that they can do the map well once, but that they can keep doing the map well. It gives them a little bit of leeway too, just to keep things exciting.
Exactly. I mean, look at that. Everybody's just crashing into there. So there's so many places in this map where you just stop and there you go. But even then, with all that, right, quite a lot of the players close by, but it's just all these tight turns at low speed that really test, your control of the car itself. Even Skande right now, just giving a masterclass on how to drive the map. Does look like he is going to take first place out of it right there. Great time. 1 minute 0.6. That's definitely a
really
solid driving on this one.
It's
Who's gonna be the
I think it is a really good example of like a slow map. The way you were talking, the way like it kind of keeps things slow, but it does it in like an interesting way. Yeah. So it's all about kind of controlling your speed into these turns.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. Kishox was quite close to getting into that 22nd spot. Raceland the one to pick that one up, but another 4 are out. Maxime, Golio, Beta Toast, and Kishox will be out. I mean, Beta Toast is also one of those players that tends to be able to make a splash during these couple of days, but for now, gonna have to settle for 27th? Oh, look at that camera angle as well. I mean, everybody disappears. Oh, wait for it. There they are. There's a little bit of a gap there between getting around that turn and exiting the gate.
So we are with Sertalion right now. Sertalion kind of hanging out. And then Uso up to number 4. So we're kind of seeing how Uso's getting on, coming out of that engine off section. Into the nice little bonk corner here that we have.
Yep. I did see that correctly. Oh,
yeah.
Just looking at the scoreboard, Skander in 18th place. I could have sworn it was him crashing on the bridge, and now all of a sudden finding himself way in the back. So he needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Otherwise, early knockout on the first map would be a bit awkward for, as we say, our favorite in this case. But I think he'll be able to get out of it. Unfortunately, Dobry with the DNF, so he'll be out. But Uso and Yannick's fighting for that final spot. No, they were fighting each other, but actually Sertalion was like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, so that's kind of what we're talking about. Like already, Yannick's is eliminated, so it's only one of the rounds out of 5 that we're going to be seeing on this map. But that's the kind of competition we got right now. There is a lot of room for even kind of players who are high seeded, who have a lot of expectations on them. That's the level of competition we're seeing. They can be eliminated a couple of rounds in.
Yeah, especially with still, 4 until 16, right? This is the final time until we will switch back to 2 players eliminated per round. So really, taking down the battlefield as quickly as this. And I mean, that's pretty much what the name of the game is today. Make sure you make top 16. Not just overall, but also in these rounds. So anybody making their way into it will be feeling pretty good going into today. Whereas the other players are going to have to hope that their other maps will be a bit more in their favor. So right now, look at that picture-in-picture happening. All the players just bonking into the hill right there.
We go all out for the finale, folks, okay? Yeah. This isn't just any mini RPG of the week stream.
You just wait until April, all right? And if you haven't caught what happens in April, man, you're missing out.
You know, in April, we might even have 3 pictures in picture at once. I don't want to promise anything too big, but it could be crazy.
We're dreaming big. We're dreaming big. Everybody getting into the finish quite fast, though. Look at that.
Yeah, quite fast. We got, a 103 there. So, even already we're talking about how the players might have been familiar with this map from racing it during the competition, from their practice on it, but even just kind of in the couple of rounds since we've started, we've seen players shave from like 106s down to 103s, so it's gotten pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, only 3 people overall have been able to set a time below 1 minute, and even then, that's only a 59.6, which I don't think will be happening during these rounds per se, especially because, again, it's very much about just make sure you're not in last place. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what was happening there.
Who decided to drive into the trees there? Look, you're supposed to take that turn quite tight, but they, got lost in the weeds, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
very
right now. Marius
still
in. One of the one of those players that screams consistency. If you talk consistent, you talk Marius. And currently in top 14 on our first map, is looking to make sure he stays all the way in. He's quite secure, safe in the middle of the pack, as everybody else makes their jumps up to the hill right there, and so far no big mistakes just yet.
Yeah, it's interesting as well to kind of watch. We're seeing Marius now, who's kind of been in the middle of the pack, but to watch everyone and see what's kind of been happening in the top 5 over the last couple of rounds as well. Scandir and Heave, definitely 2 players who I've noticed kind of have not been out of that top 5. So certainly kind of on this map, they're ones to watch as we go forward. They seem to have really good sort of understanding of exactly how to play it. Unfortunately, it looks like for DRXPZ and TAC, that is the end of their chance in this round at least. And we're coming down now into, what are we down to now? Our top 12? Yeah, top 12 players. So we can nearly get them all displayed over there on the left.
We're missing 2.
We're just missing 2. Next round.
Exactly. I mean, Sertalion has been doing a great job so far as well, making their way in. Volagen, unfortunately, cuts the turn a bit too tight. Yeah. Going to be, I think, with how many players we have remaining, a bit of a nail in the coffin for this map for Volagen. Yeah. So,
but don't feel too bad, Volagen, because down to the bottom 2 with him is Scandir.
Yeah, he's fighting. Look at that.
He's picking up speed. He might be able to recover. But yeah, I guess Scandir must have had something unfortunate happen as well. Unfortunately, had ended up in those bottom 2. Has recovered now though, as Scandir kind of pulls ahead. And Squadier and Aluji are kind of battling for the bottom 2 position. Unfortunately, Volagen just hasn't been able to recover from that early upset, and I'm not sure if that's going to be recoverable at all, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this final jump between Aluji and Squadier. Goes for it, though, and does barely get it in. Aluji as well, but Volagen and Sertalion, who are mentioned at the start of the round, apparently made some error in the second half of the map. Yeah. Quite unfortunate, but
so Squadier and Aluji are safe.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to, I think good to mention, when it comes to making sure we know who is top 16, in fact, players will be getting points based on their rank for each of the maps. So if you get first place, you get 0.75 points. Stay with me. Second place is 2 points. Third place is 3 points. Fourth place is 4 points, etc. Which means the higher amount of points you have, the lower you are in the bracket. So you want the least amount of points. Imagine this is golf. All right, these players don't want a handicap of 24. They want a handicap of like -6. Unfortunately, we don't do minuses, so best we can do is a score of what is it, 2.25, 3?
Yeah.
I shouldn't do math on stream.
Yeah, I mean, look, not only are we ranking them based on lowest score, which is maybe a little bit unintuitive, we're also giving out 3/4 of a point to people who come in first place. So the number one thing we were focused on, we didn't want it to be sensible. Okay, we didn't want it to be understandable. Exactly. It has to be complex. Squadier and Artis. Oh, that was an unfortunate kind of cut on the corner there from Squadier, but an unfortunate race for Artis as well. Just managed to pull in ahead of Alucci, yeah. We're seeing a lot of these kind of last-minute upsets. I think there's just maybe that kind of last tiny little turn at the end. A lot of players are bumping, and it's not going well for them.
I've had that driving the map myself. That last turn, right, going up that plank. It can be quite blind because you have that turn around the wall. Can't really look through walls, so you're gonna have to feel it out that you are in fact in the right spot, and even then, right when you get onto the plank.
I didn't catch who was doing it there, but
I saw
someone
there as well.
Just went through the weeds again, and I think it actually seemed to be. I don't know if it's a valid strategy, but it didn't seem to lose them too much time. Maybe we can try and keep an eye out for that in the next round. I think it maybe was Makura who is in the back now, but. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess, people going for different rounds and different routes through the map. Raceland and Makura in the bottom now.
The final, I'm looking.
I hope if it was Makura, I hope Makura gets through because I want to see what it looks like in the next round. But again, we're going to be playing on this map a couple more times as well, so I'm sure we'll spot who's doing it at some point. Ooh, it looked like there was a little bit of a bump there for Makura, so if they hadn't already kind of lost that time, that's unfortunately going to do it for them.
Look at that. Look at that photo finish coming in.
It's like watching a movie.
Artis there as well. I'm not quite sure who it was out of those. It was Marius, actually. The one who barely missed out there. Look at the times between those players. Just a tenth of a second to separate them. But Makura and Marius, 8th and 7th place. I mean, honestly, good result for the first map. I think anybody, coming into top 12, top 8-ish. Nothing to scoff about, right? Nothing to worry. I think it was Makura this time, nobody cutting into the tree, so... who knows? If they make it to top 16, we'll be able to perhaps see it happen.
Makura will be watching you. So we've got our top 6 now. Scandir, Artis, Heave, Vortex, Liker, and Raceland. Definitely a really solid top 6 that we're seeing on our first round of the finale of Mini RPG of the Week Season 3. I mean... any kind of 6 of these names, you could see these guys kind of running away with an individual Mini RPG of the Week competition. So the fact that they're all here, they're all competing, it's interesting. Liker kind of falling behind a tiny bit in this round, but picking up a bit of speed there. Rayson has to watch his back, I think, because Liker could just pluck that position from him and knock Raceland into the elimination. Scandir... you see Scandir's got maybe a second ahead of everyone else there.
He's way ahead.
He's crazy.
Alright, maybe cut into the jump right there. Liker actually made it in there. It is that final little bit of a bump, if you will, to make over. And Raceland just did not get as clean as Liker there.
Raceland out by 0.09 of a second. That is how tight it can be. And that was how tight it was for 5th place in the competition.
I mean, with that, just 5 remaining. Artis, Heave, Liker, Scandir, and Vortex. It's, at this point in time, I do expect the players perhaps push it a tiny bit harder, a tiny bit more. Once again, right, this first drop down, do not go for the bug slide. Just make sure you keep the wheels as close to the sand as possible. But Vortex with quite some speed loss there is going to have to fall behind. And now fight with Scandir, of all players, to try and stay in the round. I mean, with all these turns coming up, again, there's so many of these blind turns right here. This drift as well. Vortex not getting in as clean as the others. But were those respawns?
I think there was a respawn. Did Scandir respawn?
Scandir respawn. Oh, wait, did he miss a checkpoint? No, he's right there. Oh, he's not getting the speed he needs. Yeah, no, he's not getting the speed he needs.
I think Scandir's going for a DNF. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Well, he bumped. We're hearing from our eye in the sky that Scandir bumped. That is unfortunate. But like we were saying, there's going to be 5 rounds on this map, and we only take your best 4. So even with Scandir kind of getting that unfortunate bump and having to DNF, Scandir could still come first in every other round. Any other player, you might say it's unlikely. Maybe Scandir could still pull that out at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, fifth, definitely no. I don't think he's worried about that at all.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, there's still
it's one of those mistakes. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, with Scandir, I'm sure he probably won't even have to use this round, but there are still points for 5th place, right? So,
yes, I think that's it's making sure overall results very much count. It's one of those, maybe not win the battle, but win the war type deal. And in this case, you don't even need to win. You just need to make sure you're in top 16, and that's going to be good enough to make it in tomorrow, where you're going to have to fight it out in single elimination fashion for that matter. But that's perhaps a bit too far away for these players right now. They're just trying to secure their best positions to get a nice head start on the rest of the competition. Vortex and Liker giving us a nice fight at the back at the moment, as Liker does not get the drift as clean as Vortex there. But perhaps time and space could be gained on this final turn here. Ooh, and Liker,
it looks like
it's the wall.
Yeah, a little bit was lost there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it for Liker as we head into our second last round. We got 3 players left: Heave, Artis, and Vortex. Who's your money on, Boney?
As well. I want to give it to Heave. Heave has been looking very, very good. Despite the fact that Artis technically has the record, he hasn't been looking too fast, right? And at this point, it's no longer consistency that really will be rewarded. It is speed. And Heave has been doing a phenomenal job of it.
Yeah, I mean, Heave has kind of just consistently done well on this map. Vortex and Artis haven't done badly either. Artis has kind of taken the bottom position in this round anyway, but the gap is not too big at all. Artis and Vortex. Artis is maybe going to be able to pick up enough speed to win out over Vortex. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick up enough speed to catch Heave as well, though. Heave, just kind of got a nice consistent lead that he's kept for a lot of the map. Artis does manage to pull ahead of Vortex. Maybe Artis could still do it. Maybe Artis could edge out ahead of Heave. For this round, it doesn't even matter, though. As long as Artis can keep in that top 2, he's safe into the next one, and he can devote his sort of Heave-beating energy towards the next round. Heave, Artis, Vortex. Vortex will be eliminated as we head into our final round of Cup 1 of Map 1 of the Season 3 finale of Mini RPG of the Week. Heave versus Artis.
Heave drove another 1 minute 0.1 there. I mean, he did previous round as well. I mean, if that is the line to beat, that is going to be very, very impressive. So here we go. Split screen action. Heave versus
Split
Artis.
Screen, baby.
We'll see if any of the 2 players may give way to the other one due to the pressure, or if it's just going to be a battle of speed and simply showing off who has been fastest. Yeah, honestly, these first couple of sections, you can already gain a lot of distance on the other one, and a mistake will do that as well.
Heave got that nice bit of distance. I think Artis just maybe didn't have the right line. I don't think there was a bump or anything. I think there was just maybe an issue with taking that corner a bit wide or something. It just helped Heave pull ahead. And Artis is kind of going to have to play at the best of his ability if he wants to catch Heave now. Not doing a terrible job of it, but it's tough.
He's just keeping up right now, which is good, but Heave at the same time isn't dropping the ball either. He's making sure he's getting every single jump right, every single drift right. And he just needs to stick the landing right now, going on to the finish. And with a 1 minute 0.4, Heave picks up the win right here. So that's 0.75 points going to him. 0.75 points.
Nice.
I don't know if that's the way to... That's very, very good
so Heave, if nothing else, takes Cup 1 of Map 1 of the Season 3 finale. So well done, Heave. So we can maybe kind of take a look at how this is affecting our scoreboard now. Nothing too much going on with the scoreboard right now. It's exactly as we just saw.
Exactly.
Number 1 ranked is Heave, Artis, Vortex, Liker, Scandir, Raceland, Marius, Mokura, Aluji, Squadier, and then everyone else who unfortunately did not make it into the top 10. That's going to be a bit more interesting to read out maybe after the next cup when it's actually different from what we've just heard. And we're kind of getting into it now with our practice round of our next map.
Yeah, and I think right now, coming into our second map, it's going to be a good question for the ones that were in spot 17 through 30, as we have 30 players in. That, you know, they kind of had their fill of the weekend. They need to make sure that from this point forward, they get placements in top 16 at least to you know, secure that. But you know, maybe you know, the castle was just a fluke. The castle was just a fluke. You know, it's what happens. The sun was in my eyes. The cat walked over the keyboard. Whatever it may be. Hopefully, any of those issues have been solved. As we're gonna have another 14 rounds happening right here to you know, make sure we get some fewer points instead of a lot of points. Again, more points means bad situation. Fewer points means good situation. I know, counterintuitive. That's okay. The way we like.
Listen, the goal is 3/4 of a point, which is what we all look for every day in our lives, okay?
Exactly.
I go to work and I say, I am here to earn €0.75 of a euro, please.
Yes.
So we're still on our practice round now of this map 1. We got 30 players in. We're hoping to see 32 players, so maybe 2 people still kind of need to hop in and join this map. Not sure what's going on there exactly. I mean, but they got time. They got 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, they better be fast in you, because I mean, from this point on, that's just going to be 32 and 31 points for you.
Yep. So that's kind of our first non-elimination round gone there. Into round 2, this is going to be our first elimination round. It does look like we've 30 players, so we definitely had 32 on the last map. I don't know where 2 of our players are gone, but we're down to 30 now. And yeah, it's interesting to see how this map is going to play out compared to the Castle of Histo that we saw last time.
Yeah,
an interesting map as well. I like the aesthetic, kind of a nice little icy thing. Yeah, talking about the aesthetic of the map. Yeah, I'm sure.
Some of these construction and whatnot going on. It feels like this would be a place for an RPG map, right? I think that also,
this is a place that would race cars in real life. I think so.
Why would they not, right? Construction go underway and whatnot. Yeah, no, you guys can go and
it's
drive.
It's the weekend.
No
they're not working.
Yeah. No, it's just whatsoever. You want to drive over that beam? Yeah, go for it, y'all. No problem. You know? Exactly. But
I think it's interesting to note. There are some safe routes on this map as well. I don't think we're going to be seeing any of our players take them, but they are there.
No. I mean, Deloitte kind of took it there, right? But Deloitte's been having some issues. Though, despite these issues, still finding himself in a non-elimination situation. He just needs to make it across the finish line, but I'm not sure if he's anywhere in the rankings right now. Yeah, he actually made it across the finish line, despite having some mistakes with the first flip, right? Making sure to jump up over the quarter pipe onto the next platform, getting the corkscrew action in. Despite all those issues, 26th place, you know, still in there. Beta Tills, though, once again finding himself missing out of the top 16, so it's going to be bad news bears.
That is bad news bears. They're going to be going around to his house. They're going to be knocking on the door. Beta Toast is going to say, shit, there's a group of bears at my house.
Yeah.
It's going to be a surprising situation to be caught up in.
Hope he brought honey. Maybe a fish. Who knows?
Who knows what bears like these days? Gen Z has ruined bears. I've been having this opinion for a long time. We're kind of seeing our top players on this map then. It's looking a little bit different, but also quite similar. We've got Heave, we've got Skandir, Artis. Wallagen's up there doing pretty well as well, though. Wallagen, unfortunately, I think had a nasty kind of bump on the last round, so maybe this could be redemption for Wallagen right now. But yeah, Heave, Skandir, Yanix, some of the players we were kind of talking about, whether it's been over the course of the competition so far, or in our sort of predictions at the start when we were just getting introduced. Yeah, we're seeing them in those top positions we might have predicted from them.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Black Pulse. Yeah, fortunately having a bit of issues really managing this this beam. It's just, you know, it's narrow. You need to make sure you get the turn in and whatnot. but where he was on the precipice of perhaps getting into that 22nd place, I don't
Doesn't
think
look like it's going to happen now. Yeah.
Maxime actually overtaking him there as well, and he's also in a danger spot as Golio making his final attempt, his final hurrah across the finish line, but fortunately Demush was already ahead of him, and even Demush is going to have to settle for elimination. Again, Deloitte, though, barely making it in.
Cutting it in, yeah. Deloitte just cutting it in. Let's see how long that'll kind of work out for Deloitte and keep them in the competition.
Exactly. So yeah, another 4 out. Blackpool's Maxime, Golio, and I missed the last name. Demush. There you go, Demush. So 22. It does go a lot quicker, right? Because it's not 64 players or even more, right? Usually when it comes to the mini RPG of the week, it could be around 60, it could be around 100. I know it very much differs, right? Depending on how many players there are, but
the past couple of weeks
32,
we've been getting like 100 consistently. We've even had like 101, 102. Like there's more people trying to join than the server has capacity for, and it's glitching out and letting in extra people. But yeah, we got way less than that. We got 30, 32 right now. And that means that things are going to be flying by. We're only getting kind of brief relooks at these maps. Especially because those kind of 30, 32 we have, they're players who are able to beat these maps normally very, very quickly. So they can get through them even faster than we might expect as well.
Yeah.
Vortex was in our top 3. And now kind of falling into our bottom. Scandier also close to the bottom as well. Both of them seem to just be safe, just above that elimination cut. Unfortunately, Deloitte is not,
Vortex
and that might be the end of Deloitte. Yeah, not a great finish for Vortex. Still enough, but something to watch out for. That finish, it can be tough. You got to get like right on that sort of pipe at exactly the right angle if you want to fly at good speed through it.
Yeah, because it's not just staying on the beam, but even if you angle off the beam a bit earlier, you do not hit the finish line, right? It is as narrow as the beam itself, so you want your car to really grind on top of it and don't, kind of fall off before, because you're going to have to settle for the safe finish at that point, which is going to cost you another half second. Which at this point is not going to do too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to make a difference in a bit. Very interesting as well. See a lot of differing lines going into the checkpoint. Some players going a bit wide, others going through the triangle of the checkpoint to set up for that quarter pipe jump. Seems to both be paying off. Very curious to see if we'll be seeing that tactic going throughout the entire tournament. I mean, I would love to see that, right? I very much enjoy, like, it's not, one line fits all. You can take it your way.
If there's a little bit of room for, like, sort of personal expression in the terms of the players, it can definitely make things a little bit more interesting. It is interesting to see, though. I think part of it is that we've just got, like, a more open map here than we had on the last round. But as well, we're getting kind of a more spread pack, actually, as we go through the round as well. I think that is part of it just being a more open map, but I think part of that is also those kind of different lines we're talking about going into that very first jump. It leads to things spreading out a little bit more. Unfortunately, Uso, Tak, Gonta, and Dobry, that's as far as they're going to get on this map, as they are eliminated and we move into our top 14 and down to 2-player eliminations.
Yeah, it's, just taking a quick look at the players out, Dobry, Gonta, Tak, and Uso. From the previous one, Uso was able to make it into top 16, but I believe the other players were not so lucky. No, Tak as well. 12th place in the previous one, right? I think at this point you can also start, these players maybe thinking about, I got this placement on this map, did placement on this map, maybe I need to turn up, maybe turn it down a bit. Origin going for that inside turn there as well, getting the reactor boost to make sure he gets that quarter pipe jump. Looks to be paying off, looks quite valid, because if you go for the outside line, you do not need to get the reactor boost and you can hit that full speed. But that's a bit more risky.
Artis not having a great round. Artis kind of was running away with the last round, but
he's behind,
consistency. One bad round, that can fuck you up. And it might be happening to Artis here. Still ahead of Vortex, and again, Artis and Vortex, 2 of our top 3 players last time, definitely seem to be struggling a bit more on this map with sort of how we're seeing them kind of be close to the bottom a couple of times. Artis, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to recover and catch up.
Wallagin there as well.
Wallagin and
Wait, they're
Makura.
both safe. Vortex with the
Wallagin and
DNF.
Makura, I think both had a reset. Vortex DNF. Damn.
That did it. I think that did it, because
Yeah.
Makura already was a ways behind, and Vortex with the DNF. I'm not sure what made him do that. I'm sure he had his reasons. But it allowed, Wallagin and Artis to be safe there as well. So Vortex and Makura out 14th and 13th. I mean, with that, Artis kind of getting away with it just a little bit. Considering he as well has pretty much, I believe, top 5 on all of the maps. On this map in particular, in second place.
Yeah.
It's we feel very bad to go out because of a slight error.
Definitely. Luckily, didn't happen this time. But something to watch out for, definitely. We're seeing a lot of kind of battling for that bottom 2. Skandir, DNF.
Says no. He's good. He's alright. Wallagin just not getting that quarter pipe jump there as well. I think we already have our 2 eliminations with that. Though there are a couple of players not too far away from Wallagin. I mean, as long as they don't make a mistake, they should be alright. But I don't think Wallagin is ready to give up just yet. He's going to keep going for now. He's going to have to hope either Raceling or Squander makes a mistake
and it could happen. I mean,
zone.
we saw that work out for Artis last round, right? Like, there were some mistakes, and that helped Artis kind of pull out of those bottom 2 positions.
There's his target.
Squadier seems to have made one, yeah.
Who's going to do it, though?
It's anyone's game. Unfortunately for Wallagin, it looks like Squadier is able to hold it. Yeah. Oh, and a little cut off the finish line there spells trouble. So Skandir out at 12th place. We were talking a big game. We were saying Skandir might be one to watch. Skandir finished 5th on the last map, 12th on this map. Either one of those he's going to have to carry forward. So the 5th is now going to have to be carried forward.
Yep.
So that's 5 points. When you want low points, carrying a 5 points forward, it's not ideal.
No. I mean, it's definitely not the worst in the world, but it's, knowing the level of skill that he has, you kind of expect maybe a better performance. Maybe I don't think it'll hurt too much in the long run, but at the same time, that doesn't mean he can just sit on his laurels and accept it for what it is. This quarter pipe jump has been ruining quite a lot of runs for these players. Look at the big gap.
Yannick didn't have a great go at it, but Marius and Squadier seem to have an even worse time. Ice didn't deal very well with it either. This map could be a bit of a bloodbath. Yeah,
you've seen it. I mean, we already lost Skandir, we lost Wallagin along the way. Marius barely eking through at the moment. 12.9 seconds behind on our race leader, Artis. Who looks to be driving a 58 flat. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
And I mean, even Artis, who's doing well now, has been in that danger zone a couple of times on this map. So, yeah, I'm glad this map was voted for the finale. It seems to do a very good job of kind of keeping the players on their toes and making things unpredictable.
Definitely. I mean, Ice and Squander, unfortunately, Ice not being able to use his element to his advantage on this track.
No.
A 9th place, though, I think would be
a better finish
with.
for Ice than last time. I think Ice was one of our first players eliminated on the last map.
14th. Am I saying that correctly? Wait. Things are moving. I can't see. Oh, yeah, he was 29th. Yeah. So, I mean, this is...
That's how quick we're updating our spreadsheet, guys, okay? We can't even keep track of it.
All right, Flip, Marius is behind for now, but we already saw a reset coming in. Heave there as well, coming in quite late. I mean, Heave, our winner of the first map, now all of a sudden finding himself in a bit of an awkward spot with everybody driving in front of him, and Gali the one in his reticle and his eye lines and his as a target, but he's not slowing down a lot either. I mean, Goliath, for that matter, just taking a quick look, was able to get 15th place on the previous track, and is looking to improve that by quite a bit. He was able to stay into the top 8 right here. Eve is really fighting for it, though. Look at him just go for it. Marius is out of contention a tiny little bit. I think even if Drix misses the finish here, it'll be all right. I mean, they both missed it.
Yeah, Heave and Marius gone. This map is a bloodbath. I mean, Heave got the 0.75 points last time. Is getting 7 points now. So, yeah, it's tough. Definitely seeing some unexpected eliminations. We've still got a lot of kind of our are good players in the top as well. I'm pretty sure Artis is still in here. Liker, Raceland, Yanix, Gauliet, and DRXPZ. Is that Drips?
I think Drips. I think the X is I, so Trips.
I never say people's names properly on this shit.
That's just how, I mean, not just streamers but also commentators. You just say the name wrong and then chat's bound to, correct you. That's my experience at least. Hey, that's how it goes. So, but for now, Dr. X, unable to really get the flip down and dirty, just barely makes it on, but with 14 seconds behind, I don't think there is going to be a situation in which Liker is going to drop that position down. I think this is our top 5 already. We'll see what our times will be. I mean, Artis has been running the race for the latter half of the track, and doesn't look to be slowing down, although Yanix actually now overtaking. Look at me saying these things.
Liker,
the caster curse,
Artis is falling back. I don't know if Artis has fallen back hard enough that Dr. XPZ will be able to pick up. We're hearing it's drops. Alex says it's drops. Alex isn't even here hosting today, so I don't know why the fuck I'd listen to him. Drix
Dr. X. I prefer Dr. X.
Unfortunately, gonna be eliminated, it seems like.
There goes the doctor. This is also something I do a lot. I don't know the name. Doesn't matter. I'll just make something up on the fly. Will work.
That's it. They should change their name to whatever we decide it is. I think that's how it should work.
I think that's valid.
But yeah, unfortunately, that is it for someone who is probably called drops. We head into our top 5 now. Yanix, Raceland, Liker, Gauliet, and Artis. Who's your favorite? Who do you think might take this one?
I mean, Artis has been looking clean, but maybe the second half, my caster cursing has been hurting him. So I'm gonna give it to Yanix. I think Yanix will be our map winner for this one. How about you?
I
got away from Artis.
Artis. I don't know if Artis is going to be able to recover from this round, unfortunately. Yanix could take it. Raceland has been doing very well this map as well. Liker's also doing pretty good too. Liker was also in our top 5 on the last map, alongside Artis, so Liker could be someone to keep an eye on as well. Where even if Liker kind of doesn't get maybe first or second place, Liker is still taking a top 5 score from 2 different rounds, which is going to help him points wise. Artis unfortunately does look like he's going to be eliminated this round, as we head into our top 4.
Fifth place taking 5 points. I mean, add those 5 points onto the 2 that he already had. 7 points? So far, so good. I mean, just taking a quick look. I mean, the worst amount of points that we have at the moment. Actually, the highest amount of points, let me say it like that, is 54 points. So, 7 points versus 54 points. He'll be alright.
And I mean, look, congratulations to Beta Toast, because having the most points is good, right? That's how most competitions work,
Sure, yeah. Unfortunately, today,
I mean,
that is not the case.
Imagine being Heave. Heave's only got 7.75 points. That's nothing.
He's been winning. Yeah, no, sorry. It's all you get. That's all you're going to get. We don't have any more. We're giving them out to the true champs.
Yanix, unfortunately, not having a great time.
I mean, Liker quite close by still, so needs to make sure he has... all the lines set up, as Yanix is perhaps seeing red, wants to really make it away in. I mean, he's literally seeing red around the edges of his screen every time he hits the checkpoint, so he better be picking up the pace, as there's not a lot of map remaining. Raceland, though, getting into a
nice lead there for Raceland. And Gauliet a nice lead over Liker as well. They're all pretty evenly distributed. Those gaps are big, but they're about the same size between every player. Unfortunately, Yanix was not able to recover. Finishes at 4th, 4 points. Still not a bad amount of points at all. As we head into our final 2 rounds, we got Raceland, Gauliet, and Liker.
And I mean, look, Liker and Raceland be able to get 4th place and 6th place in the previous one, so they improving their positions from the previous map, which were already pretty good. That's just icing on top. Gauliet, though, on the other hand, was able to get 15th. So from 15th
this
to
is a nice
top
redemption for Gauliet.
Yeah.
Personally, though, I think my money's on Raceland. Raceland has just sort of quietly been running away with this map. Oh, an unfortunate bonk there, though. Unfortunately, it seems an even worse bonk and a reset for Liker. has kind of secured Gauliot and Raceland's place, unless there's a major fuck-up coming from them. But Gauliot is actually kind of pulling ahead of Raceland this time. This is kind of a little microcosm of our final round that we're going to see coming up next. So Gauliot is kind of hoping that he can keep this energy that he's showing now and take that into the next round as well.
Exactly. I mean, Raceland has just taken a quick look at the leaderboard. 3rd place with a 57 flat. Whereas Gauliot, just taking a look, just giving us a bit of an idea of what there may be, has a 58.7. So a 58.7 versus a 57 from Raceland. I mean, numbers would say, well, clearly that's going to be Raceland taking it, but we have seen the quarter pipe take victims left, right, and center, and as Liker is our most recent one of those, we may just see another one happen, though I am hoping for a close race between these two players, as they've been doing a phenomenal job. Just 1 round left on the table. Gauliot or Raceland? You say Raceland, I'm going to go Gauliot. Then
it's nice to have the bit of competition. We're back to our neck and neck, our split screen. I love this. This is the production for our finale. Great work on to our production team, Deployer and Sizey. Sizey is maybe downplaying his contribution, or accurately talking about his contribution in chat. Either way, we're seeing some great production. Raceland does seem to be pulling ahead a fair bit, though. Not so small a gap, or not so big a gap that it's unclosable, but Gauliot's going to have to get pretty lucky, but in some really good racing, and maybe see an upset for Raceland if he wants that 1st place position. Still, going from...
bit of an awkward landing
from
there as well,
16th
right?
to 2nd? Yeah, it's not great. And unfortunately, that gap is just getting wider and wider.
Yeah, Raceland not letting go. Look at that. Closing it out beautifully with a 58.
A nice finish from Raceland there. Yeah.
GG's to him. And the 0.75 points going into his bank account. And with that, I think also for now, the match leader having the lowest amount of points is 6.75. Artis, Liker, Heave also within the single digits. And then we actually get into the double digits.
I mean, there's not much of a gap though, right? Artis and Liker are both on 7 points, so they're only 0.25 of a point over Raceland, who's at that 6.75. Heave then at 7.75 himself, and then next up in 5th place, it's Marius. Marius has got 15 points, so yeah, we're going from that top 4. From Heave to Marius, you nearly double the amount of points, so we're maybe already starting to see a leading pack emerge. But remember, a lot of these players, their position is going to be dropping as well, because eventually they're going to be able to discard one of these bad rounds they've had, so that's going to drop their score a considerable bit too.
Yeah, it's now maybe a little bit of a worry for those who are around 40-ish points, right? Because that will mean that, on average, your position was 20th. And then, obviously, number goes higher, average goes even higher. All of a sudden, eking out a couple of top 16s isn't going to cut it. You're going to have to hit top 8, most likely, if you aim to have a shot at getting into the top 16 for tomorrow. But... we have another map ready and waiting for our players to show off their stuffs. Coming in on Throne, made by Vortex, which I always see as a cheater move, because you're playing in the competition and you made the map. Clearly, you know the map better than everyone else. That's how that works.
I think we had that last time as well. I think Black Pulse made our last map, and Black Pulse went out.
He did.
Around halfway through, so it mightn't be that much of an advantage as it's made out to be.
No, if only it was as simple as that, but it's always one of those things. I like to mention, I mean, not just that. When it comes to this finale of season number 3, the prize pool in total, we haven't mentioned, is 500 euros, but a portion of that is given to the mappers who were selected with their maps to be played in the season number 3, as Yannick's is just sending me back into time every single time.
Yannick's has got this is the Yannick's cut here.
Yeah.
You actually go through a wormhole in time, and it gives you a negative race score.
Exactly. If it would be something, we just have a time warp hidden away somewhere in here that allows
no one found the time
back.
warp. Sorry, guys. If C-Phil was here, C-Phil would have found the time warp.
this new block we've added, which reduces your time by about 10 seconds. Not just that, actually sends you physically back 10 seconds, except for the game. That would be something. Oh, a scum there. I saw that line there. I saw that scum there. So in general, players will be playing, and jumping there, but he decided to go along the side there instead of taking a jump.
Interesting,
I'm not sure if that is the most safe way around. Maybe he's just comfortable with that, but something to keep our eye out on.
Safe or not, it's got him into a pretty solid first place. So.
Yeah, look at that.
I don't know if that's just the Scandier
really
magic, though. This might be where Scandier finally starts to pull out these results maybe we've been predicting for him.
I mean, this is going to be a third time's the charm, right? As he is fighting for first place with Artista at the moment, who does get a bit of a lower jump, but is unable to really get enough speed over him. It's going to be a bit of a photo finish between the two, and Scandier does lock it down with a 56.2. On the other side of the spectrum, though, we have Yonk seemingly being closing the gates on Maxime, Dobry, Delaware, and Tak for a potential spot in the next round. So, a couple of these names we have seen drop down.
Tak
in these
out at
lower...
30. Yeah. Tak was doing a bit better in our last couple of rounds. Unfortunately, this round doesn't go well for them.
No. But perhaps this will be the mulligan, right? The one to throw away in
it's
the
there,
end.
right?
Yeah. But yeah, that is how it goes. That is how it goes. And
exactly.
We're halfway through. Just gonna have to steel yourself for the final two maps to make it worth your while. Scandier again with a great start right there. Whereas the other side, though, Wallagen finding himself in the middle of the pack. Somewhat safe. Not really too much danger, but again, one of those players to really be looking out for to making their way into day number 2. Does look like Heave at the moment, just looking at the scoreboard.
Heave
quite a ways behind. In fact,
Heave has
way
fallen
behind.
into the back position. Yeah. We were talking about how last map was a bloodbath. This map could be bad too. This Heave would definitely have to discount this one if he ends up finishing in 26th place, which right now it looks like he might.
Ooh, Beta Toast with a mistake does go for the DNF. It doesn't look like it's going to be his day after all. Very unfortunate to see. Beta Toast also one of those players to make waves in the regular mini RPG of the weeks. Today, not really having a good time. In fact, his seed overall was 9th place out of top 32, and just the maps haven't been going his way. 24th on Histo, 30th on Freezing, and now with the DNF, a 26. Coming in on, whoa, I need to get the name. Throne. There you go. I know map names.
We know all about the maps we're playing tonight, folks, okay? Ignore that I just said tonight, even though it's the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah,
anyway,
depends on where you are.
We're riding with Yannick's now. Yeah. If anyone's watching this in
Asia,
where would you have to be? Like Russia, I guess? Asia, yeah.
Asia, Australia, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we have a lot of viewers from there here in one of the most European games to ever exist.
Details. Don't worry about it. There's always one. You're like, hey, they're talking about me. We see you. Not really. I
mean, Raceland's got a Canadian flag.
I mean, it's in the morning for him. He's waking up early.
Yeah, Raceland's just had his pancakes and maple syrup. That's what they eat over there. And it is a breakfast food.
Maybe poutine. Depends on where in Canada.
I don't know if they have poutine for breakfast, though.
Ooh, that finish.
An unfortunate
It's
bomb.
not going to hurt too much. Not going to hurt too much, fortunately.
It doesn't hurt too
him.
much. Yeah, but definitely something to watch out for in future rounds.
Yeah, it's one of those safe finishes that it's not, risky finish, I should say. Safe finish, I don't expect these players to take. But the risky finish is not too hard as long as your jump up that quarter pipe is fine, right? There's not a lot that can go wrong, but I can imagine players cutting it a bit too close, right? Jumping a bit too far to the right to get across the finish line as fast as possible. Yeah, we saw that happening there just now as well. Black Pulse, though, looking to currently duking it out, trying to get his way into the pack. Pack getting quite a ways ahead as... I don't know about that line, though. Not the greatest line out there. Able to recover, makes his way across the balance beam, and looks to be safe for the moment. A little bump at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still kind of at the top of that danger zone. Could recover. Marius and Aluji kind of battling it out as well. Unfortunately, Sertalian pushing Blackpool's back a little bit. Aluji kind of right on that edge, but pulling forward a little bit into 11th place. Should be pretty safe. Blackpool's back up into 15th place.
Depends on the speed from Sertalian.
It's still recoverable, right? Sertalian got to watch his back. Blackpulse is coming up right behind him. And yeah, has managed to pull himself into a safe place. Unfortunately, Demush, Vortex, Golio, and Yogg are out. So Vortex, we were saying, Vortex had done consistently well on the last 2 maps. Unfortunately, out around the middle of the pack right now. So Black Pulse just managed to save himself, and of course is bragging about it in chat.
The Monka laughs coming in. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be someone just having made a mistake along the way, right up to the finish line. But yeah, Black Pulse getting by with the skin of his teeth. Has a chance to win once again. Look at that, Skandir, the only one who goes off to the side. Everyone else decides to go for the jump, but it doesn't really seem to do a lot. Oh, that was interesting. No. Wait, who was that just going straight over the engine off? I think Gallia just took that engine off. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'll drive over that.
It seems to have worked for them as well. I guess with Gallia and with Skandir, we're seeing here kind of repeated over and over again. You can kind of just take a weird approach to certain sections of this map and it'll work out.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Yeah, I mean, that is what RPG invites as well, right? Because of the turns and lines, the jumps being, unorthodox from your regular mixed maps. It gives you that room for creativity. His shots though, in front, trying to get past Drops. I mean, Drops holds the line beautifully, and Black Pulse, unfortunately, second time around, isn't able to.
It doesn't look like we're gonna get a Monka laugh this round, folks.
No, gonna be a Monka sad, or a Peepo sad, perhaps. Yeah.
I hope it's a
whichever
Peepo
it
sad.
may be. Yeah,
it's a Monka sad. Okay.
Oh, Monka sad, fair. 12 players remain. I mean, looking at the names, we don't see all of them, but Marius in, Yannick's in, Skandir, Raistlin, Riker. I mean, some of these names we've been seeing throughout all the time. Look at Goliath there. Once again, just taking the engine off is okay with losing that speed, okay with losing a couple of these positions. And I don't think, just thinking about it, not a bad idea at all. There's still a lot of players, and if you do go for taking the quarter pipe instead of the engine off block to drive over, is it just a bit more risk? Even if the risk isn't that big. Unfortunately, though, you can't do that. Whatever that was.
That didn't work out, yeah.
No.
I mean, look, still safe. Still not in the elimination.
Still in, yeah.
Goliath kind of far behind a bit of the rest of the pack. Still a little bit ahead of Artis, and Artis still ahead of Makura and that name, which is just a combination of letters that I'm not even going to pronounce. But again, Makura and Dr. X, it doesn't look like there's going to be much recovery. But, 11th and 12th place, not bad, especially from two players who we've seen do not too bad in previous rounds as well. So definitely we'll get them into at least the top 16 for tomorrow's competition if they can keep it up like this.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a quick look at their positions just being changed on the fly. They are still in the safe zone right now, so I don't think any issues just yet. Who knows? Maybe this will, just be another one of them safe finishes and giving them a bit of leeway into one of the upcoming rounds. Skandir right now, though, taking a big lead.
A nice lead, yeah.
Phenomenal
This
stuff.
might finally be
already.
Skandir's map. We might see Skandir's redemption start here.
This is it. This is going to be the win. All right, we've been looking for the map win, but now is the time. Goliath this time, I think he once again went for the engine off as he finds his way back. Will he fall off the block this time around? No, gets the drift down, does make the turn happen. Sertalian, Aluji, and Marius right now closing things out as a bit of a one-on-one for 7th place as Aluji actually wants to be a part of the fun as well. Marius coming into the fold. Gonna be a close one, and I think with Marius and Aluji just being a bit too far behind on Talia and
unfortunately,
Not gonna happen.
That is the elimination. Again, not a bad finish for Marius and for Aluji. Although I will say Marius kind of one of our top players we will see in like kind of the weekly mini RPG of the week. I'm trying to just check what's Marius's seed right now. Marius only seeded at 18th and has definitely managed to exceed that, so doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, interesting enough as well, right? 18th. On previous maps, he was in 7th and 8th place. So, yeah. With that, I mean, taking 10th is not even that much worse. I mean, it's somewhat par for the course even. Hasn't really been able to show off, like, dominant play, as Goliath have been able to do so, Raceland have been able to do so. But regardless of that, still a player to contend with, right? I think it very much pays off for him because he is that consistent player, not necessarily about speed. You know, just his positions pretty much say that for him as well. I'm not.
Sertalian. I don't know what happened there. And Scandier, I'm not sure what's happening either. Scandier has managed to pull ahead of Sertalian. Can he pull ahead of someone else and get out of the elimination? This is kind of an interesting thing. I feel like we've seen with Scandier today. Doing really, really well, and then just as we get into the lower numbers, maybe into the top 10, just one bad race is enough to unfortunately eliminate Scandier maybe a little bit earlier than he might have hoped for.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's not gonna hurt his chances as to getting into day number 2, right? Every single time he's been driving top 8 pretty much, right? So he's not going to be too worried. I mean, I say top 8. I mean, he was 12th place in the previous one, but
he's yet to come outside the top 16. He's definitely getting through to tomorrow based on his performance so far. But, you know, it's still nice to go into tomorrow not just having come like 15th or 16th, but having come 1st, 2nd, 3rd. It's a nice buzz. Yeah,
just gives a bit more of assurance of, yes, you know, I feel good playing these maps. It's you know, you don't want these small little mistakes to sneak in when it matters most, and where today maybe there's a bit more leeway. Tomorrow will not be the case. Single elimination is the name of the game, so you know, you better make sure that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd match are going the way you want, because otherwise, you know, you can't be winning.
You can't be winning, and it's all about winning here today.
It's all about winning.
Well, not today.
Fun?
Tomorrow
No,
it's all about winning. Today it's all about having fun and coming in the top 16th.
Whoa! Raceland actually got the snipe there.
Raceland just got the snipe, yeah.
It was very much a jump for, again, you know, getting into the right side of the finish line. And Artis decided to not feel too comfortable about taking that risk. Raceland did, and he was paid off in dividends there, just making it into top 5 there, knocking Artis out in 6th place. I mean, Artis also definitely a player we're going to see tomorrow with the way he's been driving today. But great snipe from Raceland there. Golly, it's still taking that engine offline.
Yeah.
Oh, but the clip,
it works.
I mean,
it's been
it
working.
Really works. It's great to see, because I mean, when I'm driving these, I mean, it's like, but it's an engine off block. You avoid those, not Goliath.
Not necessarily, yeah. We got our top 5 now: Raceland, Yannick, Goliath, Liker, and Wallagen. Again, we're starting to kind of see these guys. These are players we've seen do well on both of our previous maps, I think. Certainly, Liker, Goliath, Raceland, Yannick, even Wallagen, pretty solid racers that we're seeing in today's competition. Wallagen and Goliath kind of battling it out. Liker and Goliath battling it out for 3rd and 4th. Unfortunately, Wallagen seems to have taken a bit of a fall earlier in the map, and that has kind of knocked him out for this round as we head into our top 4.
Yeah, and this is the exact top 4 we had for freezing as well.
Yeah.
So another round of great performances for these 4 players.
We might be seeing a cream of the crop start to emerge.
Yeah. And I mean, where Yannick unfortunately was the one who fell first in this top 4. I'm very curious to see if history will repeat itself. For now, it does seem to be the case.
It looks like it is for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. That was very unfortunate. I think did Raceland and Liker both bump there?
Yeah. It's just
I think Raceland's was not as bad as Liker's. Oh, but a little bit of a wobble coming off there too. I think that was maybe just to do with the speed going into it, not being maybe what they're familiar with when going in wobbleless. Gauliot and Yannick seem pretty safe. Raceland seems pretty safe too, although Liker might be able to pull out a blinder. But if not, that's going to put Liker eliminated in 4th place.
Yeah, I mean, right now with just a little bit of track remaining, Raceland, the only way this could go wrong is if he misses the risky fin, but the speed is there, the jump is there. And
he's got it, yeah.
Yeah, Liker, it's going to take
Liker had a bigger gap than I thought
3.
as well, too.
Yeah.
Still, 4th place, not a bad position to finish in at all, especially with the kind of track record that Liker has had so far. Pretty safe points-wise. But our top 3 players, also all 3 pretty safe points-wise right now. Gauliot, Raceland, and Yannick. Who's the favourite? I might give this one to Raceland again. I feel like Raceland's been doing very well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win it.
I want to believe in Gauliot's line, so I will go with Gauliot then, but just not because I said it previous time, but because of that line. It's I don't know. It's just such an interesting line. It's such a different take, and it seems to be paying off. Something that perhaps the players haven't even noticed or realized. Raceland, though, if he's able to take this, that would be back-to-back wins for him. I mean, that's good cooking in my book.
I mean, that's pretty safe, right? You get 2 wins out of 4.
Yeah.
That's going to have you very safe. Yannick, though, seems to have picked up a nice bit of speed earlier in the map. I noticed he just kind of slingshot ahead of Gauliot. He's managed to keep it up. Yannick and Gauliot in the lead. Raceland, unfortunately, looking like he's heading for elimination. He might not get those back-to-back wins as Yannick and Gauliot both nail that risky finish, proceed into the final, and Raceland has to settle with a humongous 3 points.
Yeah, it's the real big points, right? What we do, the lower amount of points, the bigger we make them. We just increase the font size. I think that's the tactic.
The 0.75
right
points,
now,
we can't even fit the whole number on one page. It has to go onto a book.
It's ridiculous. That 0 is massive, honestly. Just out of this world. But yeah, we were left with 2 players, Yannick and Gauliot, the two players who have been doing a phenomenal job. 2 different lines here as well. Very curious to see which of the 2 will pay off. Gauliot, with the engine off, does have fewer speed going into this section, allowing Yannick to then close in again. And
that's always the speed. That's where Yannick picks up the speed.
Yeah.
It's where he did it last time too, and he's using it to establish a nice gap. We can see from our picture-in-picture split screen mode now. Gauliot is doing a good job of not letting that gap get any wider, but Gauliot really needs to close it as well if he wants to take this map. Either way, 2nd place, not a bad finish at all, but that 0.75 that 1st place will yield, it's pretty tempting as well. Yannick looks like he's pretty safe, pretty locked in taking that home, but a mistake could still see Gauliot pull ahead. Gauliot does seem to be closing the gap a tiny bit. Unfortunately, it's not enough as we head into the risky finish. Yannick takes 1st place, Gauliot takes 2nd. Let's have a look at our leaderboard now as we finish up our 3rd map of the day. Ranked number 1 currently is still Raceland at 9.75. 2nd place is Liker with 11 points. Artis is 13th with Artis is 3rd with 13 points. Gauliot is 4th with 19 points, and Marius is 5th with 24. Down at the bottom of 16th place, these are the players who will still be permitted into tomorrow's competition. Uso has 53 points, and Black Pulse is hanging out currently at 17th with 58. So again,
dangerous.
A lot of these players could still be pushed ahead. If they get some more nice good rounds, they can cut their worst score and proceed ahead. I see in chat, Jaxie is asking us, what is the scoring system? Unfortunately, Jaxie, we don't have the extra hour that it would take to explain the scoring system for our stream today. It's sailing. If you've ever sailed, that's, I don't know. If Alex is still around in chat, he can try and explain it to you, but I don't know if he still is.
I think this, because the short answer, it's really just make sure you have the lowest amount of points. And if you really don't want to look into what the scoring system is, you win and you win. You know, that's the simplest way to put it. But no, lower amount of points means better scoring, and you get 1 free mulligan. I think that's
you get 1 free mulligan.
The short version.
That's it. Again, I probably could have explained it in the time I was joking about how difficult it is to explain, but I don't like to take things too seriously, and I like to be annoying, so...
No, it's not too complicated. It's definitely just a matter of just maybe people are not used to it. I think it's really just like, because usually higher points means better, right? But no, it's the reverse. This is golf. Kinda. But even then. Yeah, you get as many points as the place you finish, except if you're first place.
Where you get 0.75
0.75
points.
Yeah, they get
Yeah,
0.75.
so first gets 0.75 rather than 1, just to sort of
Yes.
give first that little bit of an extra edge so they can keep that up. Yeah, so
Players
actually
nice
pretty
warming up.
easy to explain.
Yeah.
So we're heading on to our 4th map now. And we are kind of seeing how our practice warm-up round is going. Another cool map. We've had some really cool maps. The players, I think, did a pretty good job of voting for their favorite maps of the season. And that is the end of this sort of practice round that we're getting here. And we're going to head into our actual elimination rounds.
Yeah, another 4 players eliminated. And, I mean, if it wasn't already something to be worried about for the players who have been missing out on these top 16 placements, this is the time to really make it happen. Artis, though, with a mistake early on, finding himself in last place at the moment, as everybody else is just driving up on ahead. Instead of reducing their speed, they decide to use the ceiling to bounce down into the quarter pipe there to make sure they can maintain their way across the stadium. And I really enjoyed this track as well, right? Because it is this small, compact, but at the same time, you know, making good use of the space that is available, similar to how Castle goes about it as well. Really goes to show how creative these mappers can be with the way they use space.
Unfortunately,
build a massive map.
Artis doesn't seem to have been able to recover from that little kind of early upset.
This is the mulligan.
This might be the mulligan for Artis. He might have to eliminate his score from this round.
Oh no,
Jaxi. Oh, just barely caught it. Yeah, okay, not too bad. Jaxi and Nualik are really doing their best to cook up a way more terrible scoring system. Is it too late to change the scoring system to whatever madness they're proposing in chat? People who thought they were safe are out. It's bad.
Oof. Dobry, Steam opened up in the middle of the race. Quite unfortunate. Gabe Newell really wanted his attention right now, but you know, just couldn't be able to afford it. The only thing that would be
worse than Steam opening during the race is if this stream opened during the race and they had to hear me talking about their performance.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure some are listening. Ooh, talk there though. You know, hasn't been having the greatest of times throughout these matches, but unable to make it up the quarter pipe first time around, falling quite a ways behind. Doesn't mean it's over just yet. I think the finish is a very good example of where things can go wrong. I mean, if there is a risky fin on the tracks that we have, I think jumping into the
this
hoop
one, right? Yeah, it is a small finish. Talk was seeded pretty well. Talk, I think, was seeded 7th place. Unfortunately, maybe that seeding hasn't translated into map performance so far. Went out early on our last map, and unless we see a nice recovery here from Talk, which unfortunately we don't, goes out pretty early here too. Alongside Vortex, Makura, and Black Pulse, 4 players who've done pretty well so far. All of them kind of in and around that top 16th. All of them not getting a great time on this map, so we might see a lot of people taking their mulligan here.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well. I think, for Vortex, this is his worst performance, where on Castle he was able to snag a top 3 position. It's been going kind of downhill, 14th, 16th, and now, you know, finding his way in 24th, I would believe it was, either 24th, 25th. But regardless, just maybe already getting a bit tired early on. I mean, we've been going at it for about, a bit more of an hour. So, you wouldn't say the players would be too fatigued, but there are quite a couple of narrow spots in the stadium where things can go wrong. Deloweed, though, looking to improve on his scores so far. Great jump across the quarter pipe. Shoots his way into a safe spot, so it's going to be Ganta and Eve trying to make their way in. Everybody shoots into
what an
the
angle.
hoop. Look at those 3-pointers coming in.
Sizey says best angle ever. I don't know about that. You know, it's fine. Maybe top 16 material. We'll see.
Oof. Oh. I mean, we saw top 16 fly true, that's for sure. But Maxime is going to drive out the round. 30 seconds left on the clock. Make it happen. It's going to beat the buzzer with the halfway court shot. Setting up. Gets for the throw. And Ooh, does not hit it.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, goes for the turtle finish now. Turtle?
I don't think it would have saved Maxime anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
No.
not what you want to see.
So, Gonta, Uzo, Yog, and Maxime going to be knocked out to get into our top 18. Yeah, I think I'm just looking at the points as well. Perhaps some of these players may be accepting that tomorrow is not going to be a likelihood. Again, this is map 4 already, so if you're just joining us, you missed a lot of the action already. We are getting closer to really discovering what our top 16 will be looking like.
Yeah, I think we're seeing it it's starting to take form after our last round. I think when we look at our leaderboard after this round, we're really going to kind of start to get an idea of what that top 16 tomorrow is going to look like.
Elliot, again, proving that engine off blocks mean nothing to him. I mean, everybody obviously will drive over this one, but he had great speed going over that, maintaining all of that, and has been just shooting past everyone here.
Yeah.
And putting himself in a very safe spot.
The master of engine off, it seems.
Oh, and Deloitte does not make it
unfortunate. Still, I think the best placement we've seen from Deloitte. Liker, another early elimination. Liker's been like top 3 nearly every map we've had. Not happening this time. So again, we see another player, I think. Scandir out as well, unfortunately, at 18th. Yeah, a lot of players, I think, are going to have to use this map as their mulligan. So for that, I'm a fan of the map. Just for that kind of upsetting tendency of it. I always like to see that in mini RPGs.
I mean, looking at the names in, well, I mean, we're with 14 players right now. I did see Beta Toast still in the pack. Great to see him do well. Hasn't been having too great of a time in his previous 3 maps, but still in it to win it at the moment. Same goes for Sitzer, actually. Also a name we haven't mentioned just yet, but look at him, just hanging out. Currently in 12th place, bit of a dangerous spot with Yannick and Marius hanging right behind him, who are at the moment at risk of being eliminated. I think we saw someone fill along the way. Yeah, that was Dr. X right there, dropping into 14th place, so Marius just needs to overtake one more player, and Beta tells the player I mentioned as well in this round, the one on the chopping block, but no, he makes it in just fine. And with that, beautiful 3-pointer shots coming in. But Marius
Beta Toast is this is Beta Toast redemption round, right? We haven't seen kind of maybe the best finishes from Beta Toast. This is going to drive his score up a little bit. Is it enough to get him into the top 16? Maybe with good performance on the next map, it just might be.
Well,
into our top 12 now?
12, yeah, we are with 12. Some of these names we've been seeing a lot, but also some we haven't, which is also good to see. Golio still hanging in there in top 12 at the moment. Sitzer I already mentioned. I think outside of that, most of the players we've been seeing in this position already. Again, 2 players set to be eliminated in Goliath and Sertalian at the moment, the 2 at risk.
Goliath, this could be a bit of an upsetting round for Goliath. 12th place isn't bad by any means, but compared to how Goliath's been finishing the rest of the competition, this could lower his score just a little bit.
Look at that again. Engine off, shoots forward.
Yeah, that's it. The master of engine off. Yannick and Heave in the bottom 2 now. Again, 2 of our kind of top players that we've seen in the competition so far. Both of them having taken a win on a map. And looks like they're going to be eliminated at 11th and 12th.
Did Goliath hit the finish there? Oh, he did.
Goliath just got through the finish,
yeah.
It was risky,
because he didn't go into it.
Yeah, it was touch and go.
Literally touch and go, indeed, yeah. That was scary, but yeah, he makes it in. So even Yannick's out again, 2 names. With positions like this, won't be too upset about their performance, but obviously you always want to do better.
They're still safe. They'll still definitely make it through to tomorrow. Just with the 4 maps we've seen so far, I think Yannick and Heave are both already safe, no matter how they do on the next map. But for the glory of coming in first place of day 1 of the season 3 finale, that's what really matters.
Exactly. I mean, who's going to be our day winner, right? I think that is part of the question. I mean, where Raceland at the moment is in first place. A little bit of a bumper cart situation happening right there. Doesn't look like this round is going to be the way forward. As Quan there already DNF'd. Does seem like Raceland is going to be our second player eliminated. With Wallagen just needs to make it into the finish, and he does so indeed.
He does so.
Doesn't even hit the rim. And
so
Raceland
again,
sit ninth.
you know, I mean, not that kind of Racing, Yannick, or Yves have done bad on this map. All three of them have finished with a pretty good position. But three of our players who we've seen do exceptionally well map after map. This map just seems to be a little bit of kind of kryptonite for these maybe players who we've seen do well on our previous maps, which I think speaks well to kind of the range of maps. Look at that crowd. Oh my god.
Oh, we're just, look at
Don't
them
you
just
feel
going
like you're
wild.
right there?
Oh, the energy radiating off there. Great stuff. Saw someone call out for a hot dog there. Get that man a hot dog. Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm very just very curious to see. Like, Sitzer is still in there. Beta Toast is still in there. Golio is still in there, right? Some of these players that haven't been doing too well, or maybe not as well as they would have liked in the previous maps, able to show off what they can do. As Goliath falling out, Sertalian not making the quarter pipe jump, and actually out fighting Golio for perhaps a spot in. No, Sitzer, 7th place, even further behind.
And
it's not.
Goliath,
I believe this is the shortest track as well, but so many mistakes along the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error in this map, despite kind of its relative shortness. Unfortunately for Goliath, it doesn't look like the engine off has been able to work in his favor this time.
No.
And we might see him eliminated here in a very respectable 8th place.
Definitely. And closing that out, Sitzer with a 7th. I mean, before his spots were 21st, 19th, and 22nd. So, I mean, you know, I'll take 7 points. It sounds great to me.
Any angle requests? Sizey, when we get to the final round, could you spend the entire round just focused on the crowd? I don't even want to see the cars. I just want to see the people's faces.
What
see
is the best spot in the arena? I mean, they won't ever be able to see what happens at the top. They just assume, like, oh, hope they come down safe. No, Galio, though, currently last, but Ice with a mistake. Way behind on the engine off there as well. Does look like Galio is going to be safe for another round. Artis also in a bit of a pickle, but Ice still in a worse spot. Doesn't make the quarter pipe jump smooth as well. Just everything going wrong, everything in the way.
Round, unfortunately. Beta Toast coming in first. I'm going to say it. There was a time, I think after the second map, where Beta Toast was at the very bottom of our leaderboards. Yep. What Beta Toast has shown on this map so far, Beta Toast could be taking 0.75 points right here.
75
Hopefully not taking 75 points. That'd be pretty bad, but
that would be. But no, it would be a massive improvement, right? Where again, I mentioned it at the start. Oh, look at the emotion! Let's go! I see a couple of Beta Toast supporters right there. Oh yeah, they are looking. Interesting though, Artis hasn't really been making too many splashes in this on this map in particular, but still in there, 5th, top 5, just doing what he needs to do, right? Just putting in the work, making sure he can stay and get as few points as possible. As Betatos and Golio right now are trying to contest for a spot in top number 4.
Yeah, I mean, this top 5 we're seeing right here, we got Sertalian, Wallagen, Artis, Betatoast, and Golio. With the exception of Artis, none of these players we've seen in the top 5 so far, so we're getting a nice bit of variance as we come into the end of this round. Unfortunately, 5th place is the end of Golio's race, but 5th place is very respectable as we head into our last 3 matches of this map.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, with the top 4 not even resembling what we have seen in the previous maps. I mean, Artis, Betatos, Sertalian, and Wallagen. Of these 4, I mean, I'm rooting for Betatos for this one. I think.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Betatos get that recovery. Unfortunately, Sertalian has a little bit of a wobble there. going to be tough to recover from, and we see a top 3 kind of emerge of Beta Toast, Wallagin, and Artis. Artis pulling ahead of the other two. Sertalian doing his best to catch up right now. Without a mistake from the other players, I'm not entirely sure it's possible, but we'll see how it goes.
No. It's, I mean, with the space in between at the moment, it would have to take some sort of major error on, well, in this case, Wallagin's side for Sertalian to get into it. But Artis and Beta Toast looking to get top 2 in there.
Ooh,
look at that.
Nice.
Swish right in there. And yeah, look at the distance between Wallagin and Sertalian. I mean, Wallagin was in there, and we had to wait a couple seconds before the Sir himself was able to get in there. Does make it in on his first try, but unfortunately, because of a bumpy start, 4th place is the best we can do for him. So 3 players remain.
Not terrible.
Not at all. Not at all. And I mean, with that,
I'll run the numbers here. 4th is actually less than 16, so
hey,
it's a qualifying score.
That's qualifying.
How it's going to rack up with the rest of Wallagin's scores, I can't, or the rest of Sertalian's scores, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I think that might kind of secure a place in the top 16 for Sertalian, as long as there's no disaster in the next round.
Yeah, I think things would really have to not go his way for that to be the case. For now, though, these 3 players also trying to make sure they get nice points in. Ooh, Artis just not getting the lineup correctly on the plastic turn right there, so falls quite a ways behind, but with a great quarter pipe jump, shoots his way past. Great back and forth happening, and only Beta Toast finding himself in between 2 players, making sure to keep Wallagin out of a spot for his head-on-head fight between him and Artis, and he will be getting that. Good luck to both players, but 3rd place for Wallagin. And
I'm hoping for Beta Toast to take this. It would be nice to see the underdog win.
Yeah.
Artis has been doing very well, very consistently on this map, so I think Beta Toast definitely has his work cut out for him. But it could go either way. Beta Toast and Artis, we're back to our classic split screen, neck and neck. It's the final. Look what we're showing off. Beta Toast pulling ahead a tiny bit, but Artis is right on him. It still could go either way. Artis takes that little kind of that jump a little bit better and manages to put a bit of a gap between him and Beta Toast. Can Beta Toast recover? That's the main question. What do you think?
I think that's the question indeed. Oh, and Beta Toast with the risk right there. Really wanted to get as much speed as possible from that engine off. Unfortunately, just finding himself going a bit too wide, and with that, another crash. I think that's going to be it, and Artis has been looking for a map win throughout the day, and I think this is the time where he's able to get it. And yes, a 50.
Well done, Artis, with 1st place. Beta Toast getting a 2nd place. Not bad at all. Now, with Beta Toast's previous performance in the competition, I'm not sure if it's enough to get him into that top 16th, but it's definitely going to be close.
Yeah, I think he's going to, I mean, where he started off being at the bottom of the leaderboards, he's going to have to do this once again if he aims to have a shot at getting into tomorrow. I think it is possible, but it would definitely be a close one, very close to call, and it's going to all come down to our final map. But at the moment, though, looking at our leaderboards, Artis still in the lead, though. I mean, even with a win right there, obviously, he's doing a phenomenal job. 13.75, Raceling coming in 2nd, 18.75. But then you already see the points go up quite a bit. Liker 26, Gallia 27, Wallagin 31st. Going quite fast. And it's Sitzer and Aluji. I think Sitzer's performance right there really helped him out. Shooting forwards with the funny number 69. Tied for 16th with Aluji.
At 69 points. I'm not sure exactly how it works in terms of like a tie. For example, I'm sure it'll change once we actually get to the results of the final round. Aluji and Sidzer, if they both end on 69th, I'm not sure how it decides who gets through. Maybe there's a coin flip or something, maybe a tiebreaker. I'm
going to say seeding, but that's a guess from my end. It's an assumption.
Yeah.
But
could be something like that. Best placement breaks the tie. So whoever's got the lowest score will take that position. So right now, that would go to Sidzer, who finished with the 7th on Gymnasium just there. But again, there's still one round to go. So not only are there still low points to earn by doing well on that next map, but after that, we're going to have 5 races done. And with 5 races done, that means it will also be time to eliminate the worst placement of every player. So there's definitely going to be a lot of room for players to recover there. We might see some big shakeups to the leaderboard actually as we see worst rounds get eliminated. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this next map kind of shakes up what we are seeing so far. Coming into our last map though, how do you feel about the sort of level of competition that we've seen so far, Boney?
I would say, perhaps some of the players haven't really been able to live up to the potential that they have. I mean, I think the 2 names for me ringing out would be MROTW and Skandir in 2 different ways, right? Where Skandir just finding himself making the mistakes late into the match, which tends to be big enough for him to just DNF and accept the fact, like, you know what, I'm not going to make the round win. But on the MROTW side, it's more of a just not getting into the race at all. Just these first couple of rounds just not going his way. But when he does make it hit his strides, then he can finally show off what he is capable of. And it's very much a best of both worlds or worst of both worlds, however you may want to look at it. It's it's both leading to the same.
MROTW, I think, was a 21 on this the leaderboard. With a good performance on this map and an elimination of his worst placement, MROTW could still see himself eke into the top 16th, but he's going to have to pull out a performance like he did last time on this map if he wants it to happen. Skandir is a bit different. I think even with Skandir maybe kind of not exactly performing as well as we might have expected to see, he has still pretty safely locked himself into the top 16th. But it would also be nice to see Skandir get a good finish too. Skandir raced on this map only last week on Mini RPG of the Week, and he and Yannick's were kind of the 2 kings of this map. So maybe this could be Skandir's chance to sort of redeem his performance in last week's Mini RPG of the Week and actually come first. Or maybe Yannick's could kind of pull out the same victory that he did last time. Those, I think I kind of highlighted them as 2 to watch of the competition at the start. I think definitely on this map, Yannick's and Skandir could be 2 to watch as well. Unfortunately, Dobry, Gonta, Maxime, and Heave eliminated in our first round. Heave started out really well in the competition. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to carry that forward in our last map of the day.
No, and I'm even looking to see him in the. Maybe I'm just. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I missed him in the leaderboards. I mean, he won our first map, right? But now one of the first players out in the final map. A roller coaster of sorts, if you will, but unfortunately, with that, his day 1 is going to end quite abruptly, and he's left to watch from the sidelines as the rest of the players are trying to redeem their place into a potential day number 2. Golio having an awkward landing there, was quite a ways behind as Tak is ahead of him, which I just looked at as well, has a seated 7th. But hasn't really been showing off that speed either, and with a mistake there as well, it does look like another map gone for Tak and elimination on not just the map,
Tak has managed to recover.
Ooh, is he in?
Yeah, it looks like there was a couple of upsets there at the end. Raceland and
Raceland is out.
Instead, are both out. Well, okay, we know where those guys are taking their mulligan.
This is it. There you go. We're good. Yep. And they can afford it. They can very much afford it. I mean, with that, Raceland's points total up. I mean, we already know the mulligan, so that's 18.75 for him. And on Goliath's side, that's going to be 27 points. Plenty.
Both of those guys safe. They kind of could have done whatever on this. But
that was my Joker.
They didn't get to do their best. That was my Joker. Poor Raceland. Don't worry, buddy. You can redeem yourself tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, with that Tak actually still in there. I mean, I do think he's not too happy with his performance today, as we see the turtle.
Here's a nice little creature.
Chilling, relaxing. For those who missed the falling turtles, this is one of the remnants.
They're still here. There's not a lot of them, but they're still here. Tak, unfortunately, not doing great on this round either. Without some upsets, Tak might have survived one more round, but it does not look like he'll survive this one. It was interesting. Tak was seeded number 7th. Unfortunately, that sort of high seeding hasn't really turned into the results today we might have hoped to see.
No, and it's definitely, when it comes to setting up and training for a tournament, or setting up, making sure your seating is right, which you did a great job at, 7th place. It's ultimately going to come down to when you actually need to play, when it actually matters, and today that happens to be his day, and perhaps, things just didn't go his way. He wasn't maybe feeling too well, didn't get the right dinner yesterday, and whatever it may be, just unable to really perform to his potential. And with that, looking at his scores overall, this may be lights out. We're not quite there yet, we still need to tabulate all the points, but this is not the position he was looking for.
It's taken us 5 maps, but we have finally gotten to the point where we are seeing the players just openly shit talk the map in the in-game chat. Heave is not happy.
Shouldn't have voted for it.
Democracy has not worked out for Heave, unfortunately. But we're kind of watching our top 18 now. Liker, Yogg, Sertalion, and Delaweed all in that danger zone. Liker hopefully will be able to get out of this, because Liker is in a good shot to finish with a nice place, and it would be nice if he could not have to use his mulligan on something like 14th place or something like that.
Definitely. I mean, Galio at the moment trying to stay in. Yogg going for the intended line right there, which is the bug slide, whereas the other players take a bit more of the outside line to make sure they get the jump onto the grass block beyond. But last finish is coming in. I think looks like Sitzer is the one closing the gates, as Kishox and Sertalion are ending things up. Oh no, Uso with the DNF, so Delaweed,
Delaweed
the first
also
eliminated. But
Uso, Sertalion, Kishox, and Delaweed all out. We come now into our top 14th. Any of the players finishing here are doing pretty good. They're picking up a score that, if it averages out over how they've done on the past maps as well, will get them into that top 16th. Looking at the names, I feel like most of these guys we're seeing so far are pretty locked for the top 16th at this point. But we're also seeing some names that maybe haven't done as well on earlier maps that are kind of having this round as their fight for qualification. Golio, for example, would be one of them. Ice as well. Yogg too, and Aluji. All players we've kind of seen finish middle of the pack. If they can hang on for just a little bit longer, this could be what they need to qualify for tomorrow's competition.
Yeah, for now, not a lot of things happening in terms of placements. This may be a spot where it could all go a little bit differently. Yogg went for the bug slide, whereas Ice had a great turn uphill. Should be able to make it in, overtaking quite a few players there. And Aluji and Sitzer, the odd ones out for this one. Where's Sitzer? He's not at the finish. I know he isn't. He's just...
No, he's just hanging out.
Falling still?
He's DNF, yeah.
He's DNF, yeah.
Aluji and
I know he landed
DNF.
some point.
Yeah. Into our top 12 now. I think we've still got kind of Scandir, Artis, Yanix. They are all doing very well up at the front. We've seen them get some really, really nice finishes on this map. Scandir, so far, hasn't fallen victim to the curse that has affected him on previous maps, where he does really well, and then as we get into kind of the bottom half, just has one bad run. Hopefully that will keep forward. Honestly, at this point, I think it would be nice to see Scandir get a really nice placement on the final map, especially when it's that final map that he did so well on in last week's Mini RPG of the Week competition as well.
Yeah, maybe, a bit fresh off of that win, able to keep it, keep it going. But right now, he is looking to do exactly that. I mean, he's quite a ways ahead of Yanix, who 4/10 behind. Yogg going for the bug slide there as well, but you can see the other line just being a bit faster. Liker does have to lead over Yogg, but I think Yogg is still ahead of Artisa or Kura, who, don't have any shot of getting any closer, and Artis gonna have to take 12th place to close out his race day. As Makura gets 11, which I believe is
going to be
their...
Artisa's mulligan, I think, right? With the 12th?
No, it's not. I believe so, yeah.
And, I mean,
having 6th place on Throne,
That speaks
pretty
to
good.
a good performance from Artis,
Yeah, he's with that, I want to say, pretty much guaranteed first place, 13.75 points in total over 5 maps. It's nothing to scoff at all, and a good omen for him to come heading into tomorrow's matches.
Sizey currently asking why there are so many trees on a map called Red Forest. I think the answer might be in the map name. I'm not sure.
Can't quite put my finger on it. All these trees are in the way.
I think we're getting a literal case here. Sizey cannot see the forest for the trees.
Yes. I don't know if Squander will be able to recover here, though. He is still a little bit behind. Just slows down. Liker slows down. Oh.
Has he pulled it? Oh, yeah. A couple of last-minute resets there. Squadier is able to pull ahead. Unfortunately, Yogg is too. Golio and Wallagin, it looks like, are going to be going out in 9th and 10th position.
Yeah, it's just squeaky bum time, if you will, for Yogg there. Really, counting his blessings with that 8th place. Just barely squeaking by. I mean, that was too close for comfort. And I mean, just looking at his positions overall, 16th, 28th, 18th, and 21st. Now finding himself in a top 8. And
nearly lost it there.
I think he maybe get a little bit nervous.
Yeah. I mean, look, 8th place is a respectable finish. Marius is kind of heading up the back of the pack here in 7th place. Marius, I feel like we haven't talked about Marius a lot in terms of like placing in like maybe top 5 or anything like that today, but I feel like has consistently kind of been in the back half of the top 16 for a lot of these maps. Yeah. So might sort of just quietly get a nice qualifying score for tomorrow's competition.
Yeah, just comfortable, easy. I mean, the safe master knows how to play it safe. He doesn't need to win any of these matches. He needs to make sure that he is in top 16 at least, and he's been doing that pretty much throughout the entire day. Once again, getting in, just keeping Yogg and Liker from making their way into the next round. Marius takes 6th place. And yeah, he's just driving cool. Yogg, best performance of the day, 7th place, whereas Liker with 8th place is also with that secured into our top 16. His nice. Previous placement on Gymnasium was a 15th place, so that's his mulligan. Worst position was here, 8th place. I mean, if that's your worst position, then I don't think there's anything to worry about. And who was that falling off?
Oh yeah, Squadier. Unfortunate there. I wonder if Squadier is keeping in. He's not going for the DNF. Not a bad decision on this map, where we have seen at the end a lot of players unfortunately fall off as well. So it's going to take a bit of luck, but this is still, I believe, technically recoverable for Squadier. But again, I think even without this map, I think Squadier is pretty safe in 16th, although I can't say that for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trickier situation for them, but we'll tabulate that in a bit. I think they'll be alright. Their worst position is the 21st place, so with that out, I think all the other ones, 10th. I think they'll be okay. And I mean, if Ice falls back even further, then, sky's the limit. 5th place for now. Who knows what next round
got that recovery, right? And makes it into our top 5, which consists of Yannick's, Scandir, Squadier, Vortex, and someone else who I can't see because it's not on screen right now. We're going to find out in just a second when it pops up. Who is it? It's Marius. Okay, it's Marius. Marius doing well on this map. Okay, nice. Good to see. We got a solid top 5 here. Yannick's and Scandir both still in. I am hoping for a final on this map that recreates the Yannick's and Scandir head-to-head that we saw last week. Unfortunately for Marius, 5th place might be the best he's able to do. We'll see how it goes for him. That was an unfortunate slide off the map. Oh yeah, it looks like Squadier had a repeat of what happened last time. So it's anyone's map. It still could be anyone's map.
Yeah, I mean, crash right there. Unfortunately, cutting the turn a bit too close. Squadier losing even more distance, more speed on the rest of the pack. But we have seen that finish be a bit of a treacherous one. So, definitely keep going, definitely keep at it. But all they can hope for is a mistake. And so far, Marius, Vortex, Yannick making their way in. Scandir wins the round, and Squadier will accept 5th for their trouble. So, I mean, 10, 10, 10, 5, makes 35 points. Good enough for 6th place at the moment, so they will be safe for tomorrow. And I think it's really up to Vortex at the moment to make something happen. Golio has 16th place at the moment. He is no longer playing, right? He has put in his effort. He has put in the time. And Vortex just needs to make sure he gets the best placement possible to try
Golio,
and perhaps get in.
Golio is where at 16th? Golio is at 16th with 55 points, yeah, so...
Yeah.
Vortex, it shouldn't be too hard to shave off the 3 or 4 points he needs to just beat Golio and get into that top 16th, especially with a nice placement on this map.
It's going to be a tough one, though. Yannick, Skandir, and Marius, all three of them seemingly untouchable at the moment, ahead by a full second on him. And yeah, not slowing down at all. Everybody doing a phenomenal job, skipping the bug slide and instead making their way across that gap onto the grass block. And yeah, I think Vortex is going to have to accept a top 4 finish. And I'm not sure what that will do in terms of placement. Yeah, that helped him, I believe, tremendously. Yeah. I mean, he shot up to 8th place with that.
Yeah, Artis is saying it in chat. It looks like we're getting the Yannick and Skandir rematch.
Yeah.
Marius, it's up to you, buddy. No. Are you going to get in the way of that rematch, or are you going to unfortunately drop out at 3rd place? On the one hand, Marius hasn't had... Marius has had a good competition. He hasn't had a good, kind of top 3 finish in the competition so far. Yeah. It would be nice to see him get it. But I also really want to see the Skandir and Yannick's rematch. This was one of the tightest mini RPGs of the week I've literally ever seen last week, and it would be really cool to get to see it play out again in the finale of Season 3. Looks like it's going that way right now. Marius, it's not a big gap, but Marius is falling behind Skanix and Yandir. Skandir and Yannick a little bit. But, an upset from Yannick or Skandir could see Marius propelling his way into the top 2 and into this finish. We got from Nualeg in the chat, 0.013 seconds was the gap between them in the final last week. And we're going to see what the gap's going to be this time. Marius is out at 3rd place, not a bad place at all. And I am very excited to see the Skandir and Yannick's rematch that we have coming up right now.
Great.
This is.
I missed it last time, so if I get a chance now, the rematch. And last week, last time it was Skandir winning it and now Yannick has this chance of redemption. Very curious to see if he's able to make it happen. I mean, both players have been driving phenomenally. Skandir, who has been having a couple of mistakes along the day today. Or was it Yannick with the win?
Who won last time. Yeah, Skandir had ran away with the map, and literally in the final 2 rounds, Yannick just managed to edge him out. Skandir has the lead right now. It's still recoverable. Yannick was able to pick up some insane speed and close a gap like this in the final of last week's round. And hopefully he can pull it out of the bag again and we can get some excitement in our final race of day 1 of the Season 3 final.
Yannick says, you know what? One mistake, that'll do. DNF, Skandir, for friendly handshakes.
Yeah. And Skandir,
finally taking a win.
Skandir gets his win of the day. We predicted it early. This map now, Skandir has a win and Yannick has a win on it. I almost want to see them race it again, to be honest. Rematch in Grand Final, Vortex says, I would like to see it. I'm sure a lot of our competitors wouldn't, because they would like to be in that Grand Final themselves. But if things went away that we saw Skandir and Yannick's fight on this map again, I wouldn't be too upset either.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, we all the maps have been played, all the points have been tabulated. We have eliminated the bad maps, we have put in the good maps, and with that, we have our top 16 remaining. I'd say, Golio being the one to barely miss out on 55 points. Making our way
it for a little bit, but just wasn't good enough, as I think Vortex got that nice finish and pushed him out.
Yeah. I mean, Aluji now the one to close the gates on 54 points. Dr. X coming back with a vengeance on 15th. Ice 44. Heave on 43.75. See, that's where it mattered.
The 7-5 helped out.
Yeah. Makura on 12th place. Talion on 39. Vortex 37. Squad Air 35. Wallagen 29. Marius tied with Goliath on 6th place with 27 points. Skandir with the win, picking up the 25.75. Liker on 19. And then we see our 3 other winners, Reislin, Yannick, and Artis with 18.75, 17.75, and 13.75. No one able to win multiple maps, but
No, yeah.
regardless, great performances, and most of the top seeds at the top, but a couple of the higher rated ones, unfortunately, falling out with names like Beta Toast, Uso, and Tak.
Yeah, unfortunately, just kind of not doing as well as they'd been seeded to do. We were talking about or I was talking about maybe wanting to see a Yannick's and a Scandir rematch in the grand finals tomorrow. Artis, though, looks pretty solid to be heading into those grand finals as well. Really, really nice times on every map, finishing with a total of 13.75, 4 points below the second player on the scoreboard as well. So Artis, another one of our players to watch. And then as well, as Nualake is pointing out in the chat, Gauliot came in with a pretty low seed, ended up doing very well in a lot of our maps as well. Another player I would keep an eye on in tomorrow's competition.
Yeah, just, I mean, definitely playing live is just such a different situation as to getting the practice in and playing offline, just reset after reset after reset after reset. You know, you tend to get into just the habit of it, of just playing on your own. But now, yeah, every round matters. Every round had some sort of impact, and tomorrow we'll do it all over again, except in a bit of a different format than today. So where we did go about the whole track of the day format, right, that we usually see with the mini RPG of the week. Instead, we'll be starting off with, I believe it was the rounds. Then we have cup mode, and then we have reverse cup mode for quarter, semi, and grand finals. So, you know, be sure to, you know, pay attention to how we're playing. At the end of the day, the fastest player wins. That's just how it works, right? So, you know, if you don't care about the rules, just assume whoever's fastest is going to do great.
That's that's the main thing. Whoever's fastest, they're probably going to take it.
But we'll explain. Yeah. We'll explain tomorrow when the time is right. Don't worry about it. We'll throw in like a weird rule. They'll draw like a card in between, right? And it just has a rule just for them, right? They can only play with their left hand. Switch between controller and keyboard, whichever the two you play, whatever it may be.
Maybe one round is just based on a dice roll. It's not even player performance, you know. It's just who's lucky. But yeah, look, an exciting competition we saw today. Some nice maps, some players that have gotten really familiar with them and able to get good times on them. And I think we've got a very solid top 16 heading into tomorrow's competition as well.
Definitely.
As people are saying in the chat, thank you to Deployer and Sizey for really nice production today. We got good production all throughout Mini RPG of the Week, but the step up we had today for our finale cast, those split screens, those camera angles, it was really good. So thank you guys. You really helped add a lot to the event today. Thank you, Boney, as well, for casting with me. And thank you to our 32 players who competed today as well.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, tomorrow we'll be back, same time, same location, same channel, but instead we'll be crowning our winner of the Mini RPG of the Week, season number 3. So hope to see you all tomorrow once again, where we do it all over and see who is best. So for now, have a great day, have a great night, wherever you may be, and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
humans. You